Cool, man.
All right, we are live. David, Chris, thank you guys for joining us and welcome everybody to another episode of Bourbon and Blockchain's Happy Hour. Happy to have everybody here, guys. Super happy to have you guys on board. Uh, yeah, so just yeah, welcome.
I'm very happy to be here too. I ain't gonna lie.
Yeah, same. This gonna be fun.
Hey, you guys are staples in the space. To be honest with you, I've been following probably David you a little longer than Chris, but in total, it's been well over a year. I couldn't quite put my thumb on what critical complex David meant or where that name came from. So at least we're getting to talk to you now and maybe find out just a little bit more about how you came up with such a, I don't know, it's an awesome name, man. Mine's boring, Mr. Maverick. That's not cool.
Oh man, that's a really funny story. Actually, I was, I was very like un outspoken when it came to doing content. I didn't really want to do content, and Chip and Jeff from On the Chain asked me to come on their channel and speak, and I was like, why? And then Chip was like, man, you have a really good perspective of the market and the way things are going, and people would like to hear you speak about it. And I was like, really? And so after that, he was like, hey, won't you start a channel? And I was like, really? And I was like, okay, let me try that. And at the time, I started doing like the pack master node thing, like pack master nodes and doing the setup guide and stuff. And a lot of people was getting me confused with David Gockstein. I had a few people even DM me. They thought I was the CEO of Pack because everybody was like, David, David, David. And then it was like, they thought it was me. So I threw the critical complex on the front of my name just to acknowledge the difference between me and Gockstein. But at the same time, it was more of like a reflection of how I felt like people saw me. You know what I mean? Like
Yep.
a complex person, a critical thinker.
Hey,
So that's probably pretty much where it came from.
it's a great name, man. It sticks. It's memorable. LeftyChris is too, but I got to give the win to you, David. It's a cool name.
Yeah, my name is. I'm not even gonna lie. My name is pretty bland. I really couldn't even think of what to like as far as my name. But I mean, maybe subconsciously I kind of thought of it because at first I was like, oh well, Lefty Chris. I kind of made it because it's like I'm left-handed. But everyone's left-handed. Like a lot of people are left-handed, but also knowing like I'm left brain too. Left brain I think is more complex and logic and
Artistic,
whatnot,
maybe.
and so I just like kind of thought about that as well. But no, critical complex David's name is much cooler.
Yeah, you're gonna have
Stop
to step
it,
it
bro.
up,
Stop
Chris.
it. Stop it.
So hey, I wanted to kick this off with a little bit of an icebreaker, guys. So I'm from the South. You can probably tell by my voice. Okay. Um, in the South, there's two foods that we're known for, and that's Tex-Mex and barbecue. So, which one are you going to take? Tex-Mex or barbecue? Which one are you going
Barbecue.
for? Barbecue.
Barbecue.
Oh, barbecue, yeah.
Oh,
I love
come
the
on,
ribs,
guys.
man. I
You need
love
to come to
barbecue.
Texas. We'll take you to some amazing Tex-Mex places that will blow your mind. Okay.
See, David's been. I've never been.
No?
Yeah.
Ah, yeah.
No, yeah.
It's a
I
great
was
state.
actually living in Houston at the beginning of this year, actually.
Were you really? That's
Yeah.
awesome, man. Hey,
Yeah.
it's a good city. It's just too busy. The traffic is backed up everywhere you go. So you better learn some patience really quick in Houston.
Oh, come to Atlanta, then you'll have a hard time as well.
Yep.
It's
Yeah,
really
our
bad.
our bourbon partner was Shire Distillery, which I think both of you guys are familiar with. It we partnered with a distillery. They're right outside of Houston. You probably know where Katie's at, David, if you've lived in Houston for any point in time.
Not
It's kind of
really.
it's kind of like on the suburbs, more on the east side of Houston. It's where all the families grow and people commute in, right? It's like 30, 40 minutes from downtown Houston. Well, Brookshire is just on the other side of Katy, so it's just outside, uh, but it's pretty cool. I would consider it starting to get into the hill country just a tiny bit, just getting outside of the big city. So Houston's a cool place, guys, and Tex-Mex all the way for me. So I love barbecue. Don't get me wrong, but Tex-Mex, you just have to experience it. It's the best. So hey, I wanted to start us off. just by talking a little bit about what you guys have going on. Obviously, we formed a partnership with your guys' group and you two. We couldn't be more excited. We also want to allow you the platform, maybe to communicate with the community on what you guys are doing, what you've done so far, and what the future holds uh, for the education and things that you guys have planned, both in your own business and for the members of Bourbon and Blockchain's club.
Yeah, awesome.
So I'll turn
Yeah,
it over to either of you. So
yeah. I mean, what do you want? You want to take it, Chris, or you want me to take it?
Go ahead and take it. I'll let you go first.
Yeah, I mean, I'll start out and say that our partnership with Bourbon and Blockchain is very organic. I'd like to describe it as organic because I have a very high interest in this project simply because I understand it. And it's, when you're talking about projects that are generating new revenue or creating yield for their members, I look at what's the possibility. How can this be possible, right?
Mhm.
And so with the model so far that I understand about Bourbon and Blockchain is something that I believe in. It's not just about the ROI. It's more than that. It's about the growth of the entire industry.
Mhm.
And so that's what I love about it the most. And what we're going to bring is to this project is pure education about the project and for complete beginners. Like if any of the listeners have family and friends that they want to introduce to cryptocurrency or blockchain, then I think this would be one of the best places because they have the ability to be diverse in their assets without having to do as much work, running these validators and, just keeping things up to date, updated, and upgraded. It's a lot of work involved with being a part of all these different blockchains, and Bourbon and Blockchain is simplifying that for people. And so we saw a great opportunity to merge because we're doing sort of the same thing. And this would be like the perfect bridge for a complete beginner to learn about crypto, learn about blockchain technology, and then get involved with something so simple as just purchasing an NFT and then having all these arms reach out to all these different blockchains and bring in assets from them. I just think that's so cool.
Yeah, no, we're pretty fond of the idea too, David. um, I think you're right. Breaking down the barriers to entry is a big piece of what we want to provide, right, to our club members. Validation, I believe, and I think a lot of us believe this way, otherwise we wouldn't be here, is one of the more trusted routes to earn yield. You're providing a service to the blockchain, right? It's real. They're not taking from one individual to pay another like many of these other Ponzi-nomic schemes in the market really have done. This is something also, I don't know about you guys, but if you've ever gotten a family member or friend involved in crypto and you've been like, man, you really need to get in on this strong block. It is life changing. It's going to be incredible. And then they do, and all of a sudden it goes to zero. How does that, I mean, really, how does that feel? Have you guys experienced that before?
Of course. And it doesn't make me feel good at all. It doesn't, it wouldn't make anyone feel good. But I mean, just from my experience, like, I know that I've literally had other individuals, I've had so many of my family members, they come back to me, they're like, man, what happened? And it's just like, you can't even explain, like you can explain it, but it's just a sour feeling, just knowing that something like that has happened.
That's right.
But kind of going back, as far as that question that you asked, Maverick, from my perspective, I will agree with David that this was very organic. I've known you and Grant and Draco and Jen for a little bit of time. Grant, and Draco I've known since Cryptonaires and teaching, in their Discord last year for a few times. And I had a great time each time. But just seeing you guys actually be able to come together to make something where it is actually legitimate that will be benefiting blockchains, that's very special. And adding your own twist to it, I mean, that's really cool. And I'm super excited for this partnership because it's like we're bringing on education for absolute beginners. And one of our lessons, like one of our last lessons, is NFT education, um, in which I feel like all of this ties in together. It literally will tie in and bridge the understanding of how to actually be able to make your, make your own NFT, actually even learning about NFTs, and then coming to actually being able to look into a project like Bourbon-N-Blockchain to make the decision to actually jump into it. So this is super natural, super organic, and I'm super excited about this.
It's supernatural. I hope you guys got that. It's supernatural. That's what this is, right?
It was, guys. It was super organic. The relationships that we've leveraged in the space, y'all's included, have really benefited us long term, and we're going to continue benefiting from the knowledge of you and the rest of our friends and trusted allies that we've built. So we're very excited to have you guys on board. If anybody's watching that doesn't know who these guys are, um, I've actually included a little bit of details on their website, also their Twitter for their business, but they have their own Twitters that are quite great. There's a lot of info there. These guys are figureheads in the industry, I would consider, when it comes to education and just involvement. A lot of people listen to what you guys have to say, and I respect what you've built. So really lucky to have you guys on board. So yeah, organic is like the definition of what this project entails, Bourbon-N-Blockchains. It really is, and we're kind of proud of it, and we'll continue leveraging these relationships throughout time, and a lot of people are going to recognize the quality that we're bringing to it. You guys, I consider to both be quality individuals too. So what's the future hold for your group? Well, let's start off with this. Tell us a little bit about your company that you guys have founded and what your vision or future holds for this business.
You want to take it?
All right, I'll take this one. So Crypto Ed Courses, from what you know, is an educational platform designed for absolute beginners. I know throughout just from being in the space for almost 5 years, like I told you, Maverick, I've always come across individuals that if I ask a certain question about blockchain, they either tell me, oh, like Dogecoin, or oh, like Shiba, or oh, I know a little bit about Bitcoin, which is not bad. But what we want to do is we want to be able to branch out to individuals that have no idea about blockchain technology or in crypto, and we want to educate them so that they have a general understanding of how this all works, so that no one goes in without just saying like, oh, well, I just don't know where to start. I've heard that so many times, and it would be good to have a direct path into what would be best to actually be able to learn in blockchain and crypto. So that's our goal. Our slogan is "Get the knowledge you need to dominate the future." I really believe that's super powerful, just because we know that this is the future, and some people will say that we're early, or we're kind of getting towards that window of being a little bit where things are really ramping up. But just knowing that individuals can still have an opportunity to take the leap into blockchain and crypto, that's the whole purpose of it. But
Right.
The goal, at least in my vision or my eyes, I see crypto ed courses being a staple in different households. I want this platform to be the go-to platform for individuals that are wanting to learn more about blockchain technology. And it's not just actually having a course or grabbing a course. It's actually going into different lectures or classes or assistants, but we want this to be a household name.
Yep.
And I agree a lot with what Myron Gaines just said. He says that right now is a good time to learn since the markets are not doing much. And to me, I agree with that because that's the best time to learn. That's why I love projects like what you guys are building at Bourbon-N-Blockchain, because you're not afraid of the bear market. And I think that that's where a lot of that integrity and a lot of that community involvement from the past, when that comes into play, because you guys understand what this space needs, and as far as transparency and all those things, all of that is very effective. And I just to compliment, BnBS, what you guys are building. But what I want to say is that what I love about Crypto Ed courses is, number one, partnering with Chris. Me standing alone, trying to do what we're doing together for a long time, and I couldn't do it. I couldn't do it by myself. And now I have another person that I know is educated and experienced, that is helping me build this platform. And it's both of us equally, and it's just amazing the results that we're getting so far. We just announced that we're doing this, and people just started coming in our direction, and that's because we're trusted. That's where the integrity comes into play, right? And more than anything, my vision for Crypto Ed courses is to build a community, a place where people can take our beginners course, but then also join our community and really go to that level where they can decide on which sector they want to learn about the most, whether it be blockchain education, whether it be passive income, whether it be NFTs with different aspects of utility. And then also that one-on-one engagement through assistance. So we're trying to just build this platform where, it's not only for complete beginners. We're starting it as for complete beginners because we want this to be a safe place, a good community where we can build a community of people who learn and then eventually teach each other.
It's incredible what you can accomplish when you begin to foster like a community of folks, like-minded. And honestly, guys, you've probably seen a lot of members, future club members of BnBS, as soon as we launched the NFT, and how engaged they are. I mean, we have some super knowledgeable people, right? And that's what happens when you create and foster that community. So I think the community you guys are building is awesome, and I'm really glad that you're going to be a part of our community so that you can help us foster these new individuals into crypto. Because guess what's going to happen? Like we've already had this happen. Okay, we've had people come across Bourbon-N-Blockchain Discord through whatever means. It could be Twitter, or they could have seen somebody told them about it. They made their way in. They're like, hey, I'm a bourbon aficionado, but not so much into crypto. What is this about, right? And then we can help foster them through some education, just like what you guys are providing. I think back, and I have a couple coworkers that I'm close with, and they wanted to get involved in crypto. And I think back to what it took, right? When we first started, it's like, okay, step one, you got to get your funds onto the blockchain. Okay. Well, that's a task in some cases for a newbie. Okay. So you got to help foster them, set up a Coinbase, I'm not going to say FTX. Sorry, everybody. We'll carry on with that conversation here in just a bit. I have some questions for you guys. But you got to get your funds onto the blockchain. Okay, well then you got to get those funds transferred. Convert those funds into stable or whatever token you want to buy, and then you gotta download a wallet, right? You have to have a means to store your crypto off of a DEX of any type, and then you got to secure it. You need a ledger or a Trezor, or one of our partners, Grid Plus, right, is supporting our project with their hardware. And then what? Well, then you need to learn how to connect to an app and understand the signature processes and protect yourself to keep yourself from being taken advantage of, somebody will tell you to connect here and get a free airdrop or a free NFT over here. Like a newbie can be taken advantage of so quickly. The learning curve is so vast that I think what you guys are doing and trying to accomplish is awesome. And I think, like they mentioned earlier, now is the time for people to be learning this. And the people that are learning these things now, getting involved when there's blood in the streets, like we've seen over the last few days, the last few months, are going to be rewarded long term for sticking it out. So I think what you guys are doing is awesome. So I think we've had some really thorough internal discussions. So I look forward to maybe seeing some of those, some of those Bourbon-N-Blockchain specific educational videos to help people that are new to crypto safely be able to on-ramp their funds, purchase their NFT club membership, interact with the D app. That's the vision that we're sort of creating with you guys, and very excited to partner up so that we can help onboard even the newest of members.
I'll tell you what, we got a lot of content already, like for Bourbon-N-Blockchain. We're already building that out. So just know that it's going to be ready, and everybody will be able to, like to me, it's more about building community, right? You guys have this awesome, very clear to understand, very transparent. I know you guys are going with the passive income term, but I mean, it's the word here that automatically gives the idea of what you have without saying treasury, liquidity, and all that stuff, right? This great passive income strategy, in my perspective, and it's so simple where a person who's involved should want to go and say, hey, check this out. Dad or mom or sister or brother or cousin, and I don't know how to do this. I don't know how to get involved. Well, no, these guys have made it very simple for you. They've made it very easy. You can just watch these 3 or 4 videos and you'll know everything you need to know. You'll understand it. I just think that it's like the perfect partnership,
It is, man. No, we're super excited to have you guys. And we haven't got it all built out yet, the educational videos, but that's also because the D app isn't up and running yet, right? As soon as that hits, we're going to be able to, start helping people understand no matter their crypto level. It's super important. But you guys are very much technical experts. I know a lot more about you. You may be starting with the simple, but you guys can get pretty technical as well. So I'm excited to see what the future technical videos could hold. So I'd encourage anybody.
If you want to see some technical, you can go to my pinned tweet, the stuff I post for Go Plugin.
Yeah, if you can, post that in the chat for people. Link that in the chat so people can check it out.
Sure.
I also want to get you guys some exposure on Twitter if anybody's interested in checking out your channel. You guys have a lot of followers already. You do, but I think it's valuable info that you guys share on a regular basis. So let's talk real quick about news. There's a lot of news to talk about right now. So tell me, what's going on with FTX and Binance? I know there's a lot of feelings and emotions going on. So honestly, I'm kind of out of the loop, guys. I got off work. I come in. I started preparing for this and talking with the community. And Myron actually in the chat was, "Hey, did you see what's going on?" I'm like, "No, I really don't." So what the heck's going on with Binance and FTX? If you guys have some insight.
You got some insight on that, Chris? I do actually. Well, basically what happened, from what I understand, and basically from what I've been reading, is that so CZ came out and said that they're getting ready, or they're in discussion about buying FTX. And after that announcement, the crypto plunged like 80%, from $22 to like under $5 a token. And it's crazy that an announcement, like, people could say that it's not the announcement, but it's obviously the announcement, right? One of the biggest competitors is saying they're about to buy them, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I think that has a lot to do with it. And also you see all around the board a lot of like just sudden activity, just projects just dumping billions of dollars all of a sudden.
Yeah, I've noticed Solana.
There were some activity even before that, though. I think it was CZ from Binance. You know, he was dumping. They were dumping the FTX token, the FTT token, and it kind of made it. I guess I want to say he probably was doing it was like a power move to see like, well, how solvent are you really with FTX? You know, Sam Friedman, you know, basically was propping up his asset, the FTT token. You know, there's a tweet that CZ had mentioned where he actually said like 1 or 2 things that you don't do with the asset that you actually have from a centralized exchange, simply saying, you know, but he was propping up the asset. I think he was using that asset as collateral. And that was something that, you know, it seemed like that bit Sam Friedman in the butt. But eventually they sorted it out within 24 hours, if that. And yeah, Sam Friedman, that man went from what, 14.5 billion to 900 million in one day.
Oh my gosh, can you imagine? Oh, it makes me sick even hearing. I kind of just scroll through Twitter randomly when I got home, and there's a few people I follow. I'm sure you guys have heard of a guy by the name of All God. And this guy, he's pretty popular. He's built quite a following, and he said like 60% of his net worth is tied up or something of that nature. I was thinking, can you believe? Like, I feel bad for anybody involved. I think the moral to the story and what we've been preaching from the very beginning is, you know, you need to take control of your crypto in a safe manner. You can't let somebody else govern it. We've seen this time and time again, and people still don't learn their lesson. So it's like, you know, move all your assets to a secure hard wallet, right? You need to protect this. You can't leave them on a DEX. I don't care how trustworthy the DEX is. I actually helped a friend get involved here recently, and like the very first thing I said was, hey, look, I do trust FTX. I did. I considered them probably the most trusted at the time. But don't leave your stuff there. When you purchase your assets, move it to your wallet, keep them secure, because you just don't know what's going to happen.
Right.
So,
I mean, one of the first things I've learned in crypto is not your keys, not your crypto. And, you know, when you hear this thing over and over and it's like this repetitious thing, it becomes a little numb to you. But the reality is that's very like high key. That's very priority. You need to understand that, not your keys, not your crypto, right? So, you know, it all comes down to education first, you know, and not just trying to shed light on what we're doing or shine light on what we're doing, which I should, but it's really about education first, you know, and that's one thing we cover is safety, you know, in our lesson. But, you know, I was just reading about, my bad, Chris. I was just reading about CZ's tweet about how he made that tweet about liquidating their position in FTT. And I just, you know, those are the type of things that you don't know.
So that's a mega whale right there. He just drained their liquidity immediately. Everybody else started panic selling.
And the fact that you tweeted it out, it's like, it almost feels like an attack, right?
Yeah. There's so much I don't know about this yet,
you got
guys.
7 million followers.
Right. I'm going to dive into this deep to try and understand exactly what's happened. I just haven't had the time yet today. I was hoping to just maybe bring some dialogue to it because it's wild and there's so much activity going on right now on Twitter. So, yeah, if you can take anything from this, secure your crypto, take it off of any exchange, decentralized exchange. Don't allow it to sit there and collect dust. So, so at the end of the day, though, guys, we're really grateful to have you guys a part of this, and you know, you're going to be contributing to Bourbon and Blockchains for quite a while. This is a long-term partnership, so Really excited to have you guys on board. Is there anything else that you guys would like to talk about or bring up tonight? I'm trying to be conscious of your time. Been going 30 minutes. I know this is happy hour, but people have short attention spans, and I'm almost running out of drink. So
That's fine. That's fine, man. Yeah, man. One thing I want to say is I noticed that a lot of people. Well, this is just what I think, honestly, based on the responses I see on Twitter about a lot of these passive income projects and models. I just wanted to touch on this a little bit because I don't think that I just realized that a lot of people don't do something that I do with any project I get into, like say if it's Bourbon-Blockchain or anything. I won't consider it passive income until I've ROI, right? If I put $1,000 into a project and over the next 6 weeks I'm getting $50 a week, I can't say I'm earning passive income because I haven't gotten my $1,000 initial investment back and secured yet, right?
Yep. So
what I said all that to say that I think one thing that people and that they're going to learn from us too is, strategies on, getting your ROI. Like if you're going to invest into a project, you need to develop a strategy before you invest on how you're going to get your ROI back. Whether you tell yourself 30% of what I earn every month, I'm going to take it out of the project. However you decide to do that, you know what I mean? To make sure you're secure. It's some people think that this hodl attitude means that if you sell, you're not down with the community anymore and all that stuff. No, this is a game. This is a game. It's not a game, but this is how the game works, right? It's the same thing in the stock market. It's been like this for 70 years.
Yep. The same thing with business, right? People want to recoup their investment.
Every model that has anything to do with money, it works like that in a way, right? Mm. So you have to, that's right, David M., get your ROI. You have to make sure that you have a strategy in place, no matter how you feel about the project. I'm bullish on BnBS. I'm bullish on Bourbon-N-Blockchain services, right? I'm bullish on any project that I'm talking about publicly. I'm into it. I'm not just shilling. I don't shill. I educate on what I'm into or what I think is awesome, right? And I was reading the comments on that.
That's okay.
But yeah, but I always have a strategy in place. If I'm going to invest, I'm going to always have a strategy in place to get mine back, and and because I love about these passive models is if I put in X amount of dollars into this project, and eventually, if it takes me 6 months to 10 months to get my ROI back, once I've gotten that ROI, I can go find something else, or I can reinvest into another, get more into the project.
Sure.
That's just, I don't know why I just wanted to share that because I just noticed that it's in the air. It's like people are like, well, you go invest into a project like Strong, and then you just sit there and compound and compound and compound. Why? Yeah. Why? Get some of your money back, man. Get your money back, and then you start doing that.
It's like that instinctive greed that's in all of us, right? All of us have done just what you said. We've compounded to the point where compounding made no sense, and we didn't even have a chance. So I think that comes a lot with maturity in the space, and that's why it's part of the reason why we wanted to create Bourbon-N-Blockchain services, is because this isn't a compounding Ponzi-nomic scheme. This is a true business model, right? We're actively earning rewards based on validation mechanisms, on a blockchain supporting mechanisms through liquid staking, trusted models that you're providing a service, right? That's exactly what you're doing to the blockchain by doing these things. And in return, we get a reward, and those rewards are both rewarded to the NFT Holders Club members and compounded to grow over time, man. I love it. And Myron and David are killing me with these comments right now.
I'm looking at the comments. I'm looking at these comments.
Not your keys, not your house. I love it. He said, not your keys,
David,
not your house.
He said, David, where's my notes?
Where's my notes?
Oh, that's supposed to be David Moss.
No,
Wow.
yeah, it's not David Moss though. He said, "I hold your key. I hold the key, not your node." So, yeah, they're crazy. Good members.
There are no nodes.
Good
That's
members of the
funny.
community. So, thank you guys for all your support. It means a lot to us as we continue to promote and make people aware of what we're trying to accomplish here. The more believers that we can make out of people, the better. I think people are so tainted to what's happened now in the past, right? Think about how many projects have failed. I mean, think about it. Name a few that have withstood the test of time. I mean, come on, yield nodes. There for a long time, people felt like yield nodes was indestructible, right? Well, that's not the case, obviously. I mean, heck, Luna, right? People would have never guessed that 6 months ago, and then when it crashed, people were like, "Oh my gosh!" So I think people are coming to the realization that these ROIs aren't realistic long term unless you're providing a service of some type, and that's really what we want to get to. Like, this is a business model. This is a way for people to get involved on the ground floor and then earn through time through their membership and return and rewards. So you're not going to ROI over a month or over a day, like in some cases we've been able to do in the past. That's not the model. The model is long-term, steady, trusted, and over time, these NFTs, which represent initially $500 investment per NFT, right? I don't even want to say it. It's $500 a portion worth of the nodes that we create, but those over time should continue to appreciate naturally, grow in value because they're producing more organically each month as we continue to expand. And then, like you said, David, you guys have to take your rewards. You have to take profit. You can't just sit there and not and just continue to compound. So that's kind of like that's the whole premise behind why we created the sliding rewards mechanism. Our initial strategy is 50% rewards returned to all NFT holders. 45% is then compounded. 5% obviously goes to the protocol to ensure that we can continue to maintain. We have servers, we have costs, right? But those 45%, we can actually increase rewards as the market goes up, as there's a lot more rewards to benefit from as an NFT club member, right? We'll be able to slide those rewards up to 75%. And so not only will we be able to increase the amount of rewards one is receiving in a bull market, it's going to appreciate like crazy. And we hope to reward people exponentially, like that's the whole premise of this. And I think it's organic, it's real, it's something that can withstand the test of time. And I've said enough, guys. I just believe in it so much.
I don't
the
want
model
to be rude,
and the people behind it.
I don't want to be rude and cut you off, but I have
cut me off.
10 different ideas when you was talking. I was like, I can say this, I can say that. Yeah. You got something, Chris?
I mean, I'm still just, man, I want to get myself a few myself. I'm just like, man, like this is super cool because, I'm just thinking about last year when I had so many individuals that would hit me up left and right on asking me, well, what is a node? Like, how can I set one up and all this stuff? And it's like, man, now you guys don't really have to do the hard stuff. You know, just a NFT would suffice. And, that's the beauty of it all, being able to tend to the community and still being, just being mindful of it all, just being mindful of knowing that you guys and us, we're building in the bear market, and, the integrity, like you mentioned, Maverick, that is key. It's very crucial. And, that's really big. I would say, man, I know this is the beginning, but I'm proud of us because we're stuck through it and we continue to stick through it.
Yeah. I agree.
What? Let me say this though, Mr. Maverick, for a second.
Sure.
I just want to, put out there like the difference between staking nodes, or light nodes, and validator and master nodes, because that's what I think is so brilliant about this project is you guys didn't take, all right, let's go find these great ROI projects, right? Let's go out and go get VPN, Vapor, whatever nodes, yield nodes. I'm not down in these projects, but the problem is there's two separate worlds here, right? There's the degen, quote unquote, nodes world, and then there's the real nodes world. The
infrastructure
Ethereum model, which was mimicked by 100,000 other projects.
Mm-hmm.
The real thing, the real validator node. The reason Ethereum validator nodes are so valuable is because the blockchain cannot exist without them, right?
Bingo.
So that's where you have this thing where it gives the most powerful utility in blockchain to the NFT that you guys are created. And so I'm just so amazed by the model because I haven't seen anybody do anything like it. If they have, they're not transparent about how they're generating this revenue. But what I love about it the most is your project doesn't require new money from new investors in order to reward investors. There's this validator node system that supports exactly what we're built up on. It's like the word support is being minimized so much in this situation. Like people don't get, I don't know if people get it, but I just think that's like the biggest thing about it. It's like you're actually supporting the longevity of blockchain. And then you have this strategy where so much of the percentage of reward, most of it goes back to the community to suffice the passive income model. But most of the rewards outside of that, the 45%, is going back into delegating into nodes. And I don't know if everybody gets that part, but that is the part I'm excited about because it's like you can either eventually create more nodes or you just increase the delegation, which increases your chance of completing the next block, right? So
that's right.
It's beautiful, man. I love it.
Thank you guys very much. Your opinion matters to us and to a lot of people out there. I could sit here and talk about how I believe this project is revolutionary and groundbreaking all day long. This is one of my favorite topics when I'm introducing somebody, especially in real life, right, face to face to what we're doing. Like I'm so passionate about it, and it's hard to explain to somebody that doesn't truly understand blockchain. But like I find that even more fun, right? Like trying to bring them into the fold and help them understand. So thank you guys very much, both of you, for coming on tonight. I'll leave any last remarks with you guys. I encourage everybody, though, before we sign out here, to go check out Crypto Ed courses. Also, stay tuned in the Discord because David and Chris are going to be helping us educate newly inducted crypto people into the fold. We're actually talking with a few other bourbon brands, a bourbon channel that has nothing to do with crypto. We're entertaining ideas on how to try and like really capture the bourbon aficionados out there and induct them into blockchain. And if we're successful in doing this, we very well could have some very green people out there. So thank you guys for agreeing to work with us and doing what you're doing. And any last comments I'll leave with you two.
You can go first, David.
I've already spilled the beans, man. I mean, I'm happy to be partnered with Bourbon-N-Blockchain. I'm glad that we were you guys' choice for education. I believe you guys know that we can deliver. I'm happy to be, here and supporting a real project that I can actually put the words passive income behind and it be legit.
Yeah, I agree, and the cool thing is, we're working with individuals that we actually trust, that we've talked to and commented, communicated with for a good minute, and very trustworthy individuals. And I love the project, and then also being able to incorporate our education into it. That's really cool. But yeah, check out Crypto Ed courses. On the front homepage, there's 2 free lessons. One is the pre-search lesson, and another one is a Go plugin lesson, in which I still work for a Go plugin. So you know, put in a lot of time to be able to incorporate everything I know about that project into putting into a free lesson for you guys. So check it out.
Yeah, well, thank you guys very much for attending. I'm going to end the broadcast now. You guys stay put. I'm going to talk to you a little bit more after this, but thanks for everybody for attending. And guys, we'll have you on again in the near future. Thanks for all your comments, your insights. It's always appreciated. Have a good one, guys. Good night.
Peace, everyone.